women back there.
Yeah, but they're
You've
real
got 3 American males on the phone over here. You're not gonna pull.
You're gonna have to do something to keep up.
Those are like real New Zealand people back there. Come on.
Look, have you guys seen Thor yet?
Have you seen what?
Thor the movie.
Thor?
No, I've not seen it.
As in the guy that runs around with a hammer that he named Molinar?
I thought that was like in the Northern Hemisphere with Meow Meow.
Did you get the Kiwi jokes on that?
No, I didn't see it. Did you get the Kiwi jokes?
I saw Justice League. I didn't see Thor yet.
Well, you're a DC guy. You're not a Marvel guy.
No, I'm a Marvel guy. I mean,
what the hell are you doing seeing DC before Thor?
Because my wife didn't want to go see it, and she's waiting so that we can go see it together because I can't see it without her.
No, I will wait.
Here's my man card. Just take it because
I will wait until it's out on HBO Showtime streaming.
Oh yeah, see with this 75-inch TV.
I think that'll hit Netflix. HBO.
It doesn't have Wonder Woman in it, then tough.
Ted ain't seeing it.
Exactly.
I told my daughter when she was extremely young that one day she's going to have to make a choice in religion on whether DC or Marvel, and she could then make her choice.
I hope she chose Marvel.
I would have to go DC.
Oh my God, that's blasphemy! You kidding? Sucks.
If I had to choose, I don't want to choose, but if I had to choose, I mean, Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman.
Yeah, see, I love Marvel better than DC, but my top 3 characters is who you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm. No, I love Batman as much as the next guy, but Spider-Man, first of all, is the best superhero of all time. But
I don't like Tobey Maguire. He can't act worth crap. So
no, I'm not talking about Tobey Maguire. I'm talking about the fucking comics. I'm not talking about Tobey Maguire. I'm talking about Marvel Studios. We're talking about Marvel the comics.
Yes, but I'm talking about the movies. I mean,
the movies are the cliff notes for.
Yeah, why are you talking about movies? Come on.
I've got in my room right over here tabletop books on Marvel and the Avengers and all that, so that I can keep up on all the stuff.
And Spider-Man Homecoming was great. Did you see that movie? It was a great movie.
Yeah,
that was a great Spider-Man.
I have not walked into a comic book store since the last time I played Magic the Gathering, which would have been like 1996.
Oh my God!
Talking of which, there's those new trackables out.
Well, see,
that's what it brought to mind.
Nowadays,
my son kid
they have graphic novels, though, Chad.
Right.
The graphic novels are extensively put in place. They're movies in book form.
Yeah, I know what they are.
Yeah,
I'm just, it's not my cup of tea.
This is talking about a guy that doesn't know canon if it came up and shot him in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying.
Oh no, there's certain things that piss me off about. Like the Assassin's Creed movie, that the things that were non-canon. But
did he just say Assassin's Creed?
Yes,
he's a junkie. Every time I turn on the PlayStation,
you tell me a video game movie shy of Tron that did anything ever, and I'm not talking Tron 2. That did not.
Did you see the Assassin's Creed opening night? Did you go to the midnight showing of the Assassin's Creed movie?
No, I actually waited for it to come out on HBO because it had such low ratings. And in retrospect, I'm glad. I mean, they did not do a very good job representing the Assassin's Creed series in that movie, in my opinion.
Like I said, tell me one movie I have the original Tron, which was based off an arcade game.
That was fun.
Well, Jeff Bridges, right? Was that original movie, right?
Yeah.
The original Tron.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges was in that.
Yes, he was. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. But tell me one other movie ever that based off of a video game that was
yeah,
good.
Because oh god,
that was the first movie. That was the first movie I watched on VHS.
Which one?
Tron. Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, Tron.
I could think of a video game movie that made more money. I could.
I'd be hard pressed to figure one out.
Right.
Probably that stupid Lego movie.
That's not a video game.
And so it
yes,
degrades.
It was. I thought they did
it was a Lego video game. It was okay. Anyways, we can start the podcast. I'm not arguing.
Yeah, we're starting a little late, folks, because we want to make sure Sarah got in, and then we got talking about Marvel, and then things just deteriorated after that.
Cloak and Dagger. Remember that one?
Movie?
Oh yeah, it was a movie. Dabney Coleman was in it.
I don't remember.
Little Elliot from E.T. What the hell was his name? Henry Thomas.
I don't remember that one.
Did he phone home?
Oh, it was a good movie.
Wow.
Dude, Dabney Coleman. You cannot go wrong with the Dabney Coleman movie. Come on, dude.
See, I gotta pull up my.
All right, I got one, dude. I got one. Here we go. I not only I have the list, box office revenue here list. Here's one you forgot: Mortal Kombat. It only made $122 million.
Oh, and the movie
$2 million
sucked.
Oh, yeah. How about Lara Croft Tomb Raider? Only made $274 million.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, I'll give it.
Now, was that the Angelina Jolie version?
Resident Evil, the whole series of Resident Evil movies.
Those movies sucked.
All 52 of them.
Those movies sucked.
Yeah, but those are based off of movies. Resident Evil. So
it's Warcraft, $433 million.
I actually saw that turd. I'm just saying.
I saw that turd.
I did. I went to it thinking it's World of Warcraft. They've got an entire universe to work with. Yeah. And I went, this is why Activision should not make movies. So,
here we go. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. That was a video game?
You know, I played that game to death.
$336 million that movie made.
Yeah, I played the game forever.
There's about 7 or 8 Prince of Persia video games.
I mean, the first
one, yeah. The last one kind of, I think, sunk the series.
Yeah,
but
that's just my opinion. Clear winner is Mortal Kombat. Clear winner.
Really?
Warcraft as a close second.
Wow.
And Resident Evil also as a close second.
Just saying.
Any chance of just getting a touch grumpy? Any chance of starting the show?
Oh yeah.
He's like, I'm at work, assholes. Can we get moving along, please?
Pretty bad, actually.
Fine. Let me put the overlay up since Sarah the tyrant is
sorry, we went down a rabbit hole. Rabbit hole.
Which is what I've listened to for the past half hour.
Sorry.
All right. So hey folks, you've listened to us for at least the past 10 minutes. Anyways, we're gonna start the show now. So sit back, relax.
That was all live. We did this live?
Yeah.
Oh.
We
did.
Yeah. So sit back and get your drink and drink it because we're going to start the show now. So have a good one, and we'll push the button here.
You want to know how to find it. Seek it out when they hide it. You know it's in the bag when it's an easy grab. Come on, take a chance now. So go, geocache. And if you need help, we're right there in a flash. If you got a question, just call in and ask. Uncover the stash. On the Geocaching Podcast. The Geocaching Podcast.
Welcome to the Geocaching Podcast, episode 518, recorded live on November 29th, 2017. I'm your host, Headhardhat with
Scott Burks,
Task 427, and
Info Ferret.
You can join our chat room and watch our live video stream, plus participate with us as we record this episode. All this and more can be found at www.geocachingpodcast.com/live. Be sure to contact us via our voicemail line at 630-31-VOICE, and also find us on Twitter at geocachingpodcast.com/Twitter and Facebook at geocachingpodcast.com/Facebook. This episode is sponsored by our good patrons of the Geocaching Podcast. To become a contributing patron, simply click on our Patreon or PayPal logos on our webpage to help keep our podcast going. From all of us at the Geocaching Podcast, we thank you. So, yeah, if you picked up the first part of the show before the show, we kind of went down a little rabbit hole, which started off with who's got the bigger 4K TVs.
Kaz wins by a mile, guys.
Kaz, yeah, you know, when he whipped that out, that was just
huge,
something to see.
We were all taken aback.
and the detail is amazing. I'm just saying. So that's how that went. And then we went into different things for comic books, and we'll talk about what religion you're involved with, be it DC or Marvel, and just went after that.
Which led down a video game movie hole.
Yeah, the kicker is we probably could have talked for the next hour, and it was our nice
done. Yeah, man, I wasn't done. Sarah made me stop.
Yeah, and Sarah kind of put the brakes on everything, and just because that worked.
Sarah's at work, so
yeah. Speak up just a little bit louder, Sarah, because you're.
Actually, no, I mean, look, it's my belated lunch break, so.
Oh.
So no wonder she's saying go.
I know she's on the clock here. She's on the clock.
Yeah. All right. 4 in the afternoon, our time.
Wow,
that is a belated. You're eating lunch at 4 in the afternoon.
Well, I did say very belated.
They let you take a lunch that late?
Yeah, I've been in it. It's a sort of case of they don't mind what happens as long as the work gets done.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, are you sure it's not like The Hobbit where they're talking about second lunches and all the rest of that now?
Actually, no, I was in a training team all morning, and I'd hoped they'd provide lunch, but they didn't.
They didn't provide lunch with training? What's up with that?
Yeah.
Come on.
Now, that's an easy Panera lunch right there when you have training. That's
and I was going to say, what do they provide at training lunch for you? Because in the United States, it's either pizza or Panera, one of the two.
Usually,
what is it?
Depends on who booked it. Sandwiches, wrap, possibly sushi. Just depends on.
Oh, I'd be furious.
Training sushi?
Here, have some dead fish for lunch.
I take it you two aren't sushi guys.
Oh, I love it.
No.
But it's just that, I want something where if I'm around that, first hour after lunch, I'm like, it's the carbs are kicking in.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm nice and relaxed.
Gift wrapped rice salad.
Yeah.
Back to geocaching. What you guys been up to?
Oh man, I'll tell you what, it's interesting. I'm on day 3 of my new job in Durham, North Carolina. Traffic in this area, I would say, is comparable to New York City, Detroit on some of the inner close freeways, that kind of thing. Very heavy. Something that should take me 45 minutes takes up to an hour and a half sometimes. And it's not a matter of if there's going to be an accident today, it's how many accidents are going to be. So
just to make you jealous, I could walk to work from my house in an hour. In less than, and it's 15 minutes on the bus.
Oh my!
Wow. Yeah, Jesse works less than a mile from work.
Yeah, see, I miss those days. I really miss those days.
What's funny is I'm yawning today because Toby is, he made the school basketball team, my oldest, my 12-year-old.
Yeah,
and their games are at 3:45.
Oh.
And he's like, Dad, you gonna go to my games, right? I'm like, yeah, of course. And so in order to pull that off, I have to work the 7 to 3 shift. And I work the 7 to 3 shift. 5:30 in the goddamn morning.
Yes.
To work by 7 because I got to get up, shower, get some breakfast, and then head out. Yep. And dude, I go to work. It's not even light yet. It's not even light out.
Yeah, that's what I'm into now.
Best part is that I fly to work. There's no traffic, But oh man.
Well, I work with a couple of people who commute in from Wairarapa every day, so that's 2 hours on the train. The bloody man.
A guy across the street from me commutes to San Francisco every day. Gets up at 3. He leaves his house at 3 in the morning.
It's not worth it.
This is sounding more and more like the Monty Python's Shoebox in Middle Road sketch. I know a guy who's got to get up 3 hours before he goes to sleep, whip himself, and then work a 75-hour shift before. If you haven't seen the sketch, Google it.
I never took you for a Monty Python person.
Hell yeah.
We learn things here.
No, I've been a Python fan. Not the coding stuff, the Monty Python. Since when the series was live.
Wow.
I remember going
What's weird?
Live in the cinema as a teenager.
Yeah, they can't even air that in England anymore.
What?
It's one of those things though, but because Mark Dowding hates Monty Python.
Really?
Yeah, hates it. Loves Benny Hill. Hates Monty Python.
Or was it Benny Hill or Monty Python that you guys were saying they can't play in the UK anymore?
Benny Hill. I can't stand it.
Okay.
Oh, I love Benny Hill.
See
He's
that
my
Mark
favorite.
loves Benny Hill, hates Monty Python. She loves Monty Python, hates Benny Hill. I think it's like an Elvis Beatles kind of thing.
It really is. I am a huge Benny Hill fan.
I love Benny Hill. I grew up on Benny Hill. But
I have so many colloquialisms from him.
Yeah, I like Benny Hill. I like Monty Python.
Okay. You shall not pass. Now back to the show.
Oh yeah.
So that's Gandalf.
All right. So yeah, like I said, rabbit holes are rampant here today, so you got to be careful. All right. So lunchtime geocaches in Durham, and so I get a whole new playground to go find geocaches in, which is cool.
That's always the perk, the fun part of getting a new job. Yeah,
absolutely. Yep. And Scott's got a new toy.
I do. I got the iPhone 10. Yes, it finally showed up. I ordered it.
When
I haven't changed carrier. I'm on Verizon now.
Now you need to get the notch haircut.
So it's an expensive iBrick now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but I'm paying. I got the Apple new phone every year thing, so I'm paying monthly, a cheap monthly. And then every year I get
anything on there that really thrilled you?
Shockingly, I was surprised how I've had it for a day. Literally just not even about 24 hours now. And how shockingly easy it was to not use the home button anymore. I mean, I don't think, are any of you guys Apple users? I don't think any of you are. But
no.
The home button, you live and die by that home button, and so I was like, oh, shit, how do I do this? And it was really easy. I mean, it took me an hour and then I was used to it, the flip up and the button. And yeah, it's no big deal. I like it. Camera's amazing. Yeah, it's nice.
Doesn't have a virtual home button?
No. You have to swipe up to come back home.
See, on mine, all you got to do is squeeze.
That's all he needs, isn't it?
You say squeeze, Andy?
Yeah, all you got to do with mine is squeeze.
Squeeze your phone.
Yeah,
I hate squeezing mine because Bixby comes up.
Something comes up if you squeeze it enough. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, it's. I got the Pixel too, so it's.
Oh, okay.
I'm very happy with it.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, it's all the rage these days. Just squeeze and your assistant comes out. I'm just saying.
So yeah, that's what's going on with me. I'm dealing with a new phone. That's what I'm dealing with.
That's it. Kaz, how you doing?
We've got good weather. Ha.
Yeah, I'm dealing with crappy weather, so no caching. I think the cold season has finally officially said we're here, we're staying.
So you got rain and cold now.
We got rain and cold now, and I spent my week off. I spent playing Assassin's Creed Origins as Scott will attest.
Oh, you sad people.
I guess. Sarah, save us. What did you do? Speak up.
I got sunburnt on Saturday.
Sunburn?
Yeah.
Wow. See, Scott, sometimes for extended periods of time, this glowing orb comes out and illuminates the area for an extended period of time. And, you can see it.
I don't go out in the sun, dude.
With the naked eye, but don't look too close. Like
I can barely see that glowing orb. I could barely see that glowing orb through the fog this morning.
I went out on a much belated numbers run. I haven't done one for a while, and I was sort of getting stir crazy. So, got dropped off at a friend's house at 6:30 in the morning. And we got back about 10 o'clock in the evening. Headed up, and there was 3 of us, and we went up to the Northern Wairarapa. Got about 50 caches each, so probably visited about 70 because there was some I'd got and she hadn't, and vice versa. And discovered that the route planner had sent us, who's a cache user, sent us a GPX file of all the ones we were going to get, which when I opened up in CGeo, for some reason it was showing some of the ones that she'd found as me having found them. which is that was a bit strange. I was going, it's saying I've found these, but I don't remember being in this area at all. So fortunately, I signed them anyway, and that meant I came out with about 56 at the end. But I got my revenge on her earlier this week. She's working on the challenge where she's got to find a lot of puzzles. So I said, how about this evil one called Child's Play 3? And anybody in Wellington will recognize that. And so we went off looking for that one. And she said, I've got a friend who's a muggle, but she's quite happy to walk. Can she come too? And I said, no problem. So we get to where we were parking. We're sort of walking up into the hills. And it's an area where gorse, which is a spiky, horrible thing that any Brit or Kiwi will recognize, had been cut down, but it was growing back. And we headed up this hill slowly because none of us are fit. And I looked around, and the muggle with us was wearing flip-flops. Jangles to Kiwis. Thongs to Australians. And yes, I know I refer to thongs to an entirely different bit of item of clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, or aren't you getting that joke?
We're Americans. We're dumb.
We're dumb.
Thongs in Australia are flip-flops.
Thongs?
Thongs in New Zealand are
like
skimpy
thong.
items of, as one person once put it, female intimate apparel.
It's used for both purposes here. So.
That could be very uncomfortable if you get it wrong.
The term is used.
I prefer the second one.
Yes.
Anyway, she got up there, and her feet and legs survived to tell the tale. And yes, there was gorse up there. I brought my ski jacket, even though it was a stinking hot evening. I brought my ski jacket with me because that's the one thing that's impervious to gorse and brambles and other prickles. And we found that one, and we admired the sunset and went back down again.
Wow.
And that's sort of So sorry, no Elio or other weird stories this week.
No. Because spiky killer plants are always good. So
she exported
good too, for the record, just if you're curious.
So she exported the GPX from Cachely. GPX files do have a found point for each cache in there. So any of her founds in there would have been marked found when she exported it. So when you imported it had it marked as found already.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it didn't.
Yes, how would you know?
But when I opened up my map on CGO,
it
still showed
it's more
found,
about
which was weird.
It's more about GPX than about Cachely itself.
Yeah.
Anyone that you export.
Don't even say the word Cachely. You're not allowed to use that word. Be bad.
Anyone that properly exports a GPX file will have that marked as found. That way you can use that for indication later when you with other tools that you have found it.
Scott, you know how Taz is a little irritated today because
he's already aggravated.
Starting from the TVs and working into movies, it's just been ugly.
So, we'll just have to keep lining him up. That's good.
Yeah. So anywho, let's move on to the podcast roundup, letting our viewers know what's going on in the geocaching.
Oh my God, we're only at the podcast roundup.
It's
like almost
what's coming up this week. It might as well be a random show tonight.
God.
Speaking of randomize, GeoGearheads episode 309, randomize LXIII, is another chance to go through a pile of smaller subjects in the 63rd. 63rd randomized show.
Oh, 63? Really? So
triple I.
Okay.
So that and GeoSnippets Reboot podcast, we are going to be talking about writing utensils, quality over quantity. We've got a Christmas wish list and stuff. So we're going to get a whole bunch of stuff for episode 219 on Thursday for the GeoSnippets Reboot podcast. So be sure to check out both shows. Please. Huh?
I said, okay.
Yep, and please consider becoming a patron of our show. God knows we need money. Throw us a couple bucks each month if you can by clicking on either our PayPal or our Patreon logos, and we would greatly appreciate it because it helps keep the show going. All right, good stuff. And yes, Mr. Scott, we don't have a sad Scott today, So let me hit this right here.
I got mail! Yay! I got mail! Yay!
Yay! I get mail. All right. Hello, all, especially local host Sarah.
See, we're chopped liver already.
I've recently been approached through the geocaching.com message center, that's center CENTRE, by a cacher in Britain who is building an international series of library caches. He'd like to include mine. I hadn't realized, that's realized with an S, a series could include multiple shows. Are there any pitfalls or points to be aware of when considering adding a cache to a series? Thank you, Jacqueline, a.k.a. 3 Pretties.
Very nice.
Oh, hi. Yeah, one comment I've got with her library one. Why?
Have you done her library cache?
No, I haven't, because every time I drive to Ekatahuna, or Eki as the locals apparently call it, damn good coffee shop there, but the library is not open on a Saturday.
Oh, it's like Chick-fil-A here in the States. Chick-fil-A is never open on a Sunday, so.
Yeah, but that's because of the God thing. Like, but why wouldn't the library be open on a Saturday? That's crazy.
No idea, but hey, I'm not sure what Northern Wairarapa funding arrangements are, so, but sometime I'm going to have to go through there on a weekday and get that one. But I did pick up a nearby cache, I think it's hers, and despite what appearances were to the country, I've been told the container was a salt cellar.
Oh, what?
It just looked like something different.
What?
Somebody with a dirty mouth.
A salt cellar.
Okay.
You know, thing that holds table
What is
salt.
that? Because I'll take the blame. I don't know what that is. Everybody else is going, I don't know what that is.
I'm assuming it's the thing that holds salt. That's my assumption.
You know, you get.
I just want to make sure I heard her correctly. I make sure I heard the accent. I want to make sure I heard it right.
Right.
What accent?
Exactly.
Accent. Did you guys at all
So
have
is this like a grinder for salt?
Right. Thank you.
Not it's you just shake it over your fish and chips, or fish and chips to give it.
We call that a shaker.
We don't eat fish and chips here. This is America.
Well, they also have a grinder version when you have when you have the when you have the block of salt.
Right.
Yeah.
Block of salt.
Most of us just get it right out of Detroit from the salt mines, and it's granular, so we don't really have to worry about that.
What farmers put out in the fields, so the cows can lick it and get all their trace
Well, we use that for hunting deer, but that's a whole
attract the deer.
Right. But
want to kill that.
Yeah. So we take peppercorns and grind them like that, but we usually don't use that for salt. I don't know who's more primitive with that, but it's a good thing to know.
So getting back to the question, are there any pitfalls or points? Back up the rabbit hole. Is there any pitfall or points to be aware of when considering adding a cache to a series?
Yes.
What's weird is this is a series, an international series. I've never heard of somebody doing that before.
Well, there's some international series like the between different cities. Like there is a German Cologne, and Seattle has some multi-caches that are like brother cities, and you have to get a piece of information from one, provide it to a person on the other side of the pond. They get a piece of information provided back. It's still a series that's international. Here you're just talking about a series of regular core caches that are international.
It's more a British thing. I've done a little bit of caching in the UK, not very much. But they have a lot of series. The big one that I know of is Church Micro, which is
I was just going to say that one was the one that I'm familiar with.
There's Side Tracks, which is near stations. There's Off Your Trolley, which is near supermarkets. There's a Fine Pair, which I think is something crazy like you've got to get an old style post box and an old style phone. Anybody from the UK, and if I'm getting these wrong, please don't send hate mail. You've got to be able to photograph the two of those together in the same shot. I think there's a Sideway, and there's a couple of others that I just can't remember off the top of. Oh, there's a postcode one that's just started.
We have those here. We have double D's like that.
Yeah.
We have double D, but nothing international. I mean,
I would say that the biggest pitfall for those is if you're coupled up with someone that doesn't wind up maintaining their caches, and you get the grief about it because you're part of the series.
Yeah.
Or if you want to add to somebody else's series and they don't know about it, might be a bit of a pitfall. But other than that, I can't think of anything that's really.
I suppose it depends on. I think for pre-existing caches, it would be if they want to add you, that it's whether or not you fit into whatever the rules of the series happen to be.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the worst it's going to be is you're going to get added to their bookmark list anyway. So,
I created one called the Texas Totally Tubular series, me and a friend of mine, and we allow other people to. It's based on tube caches. We allow other people to come in and add their tube caches to it. So, and like I said, the biggest problem is when you got someone who creates one and then doesn't maintain it and kind of like drops out. And it's like, do you try to get it archived? Do you try to, what do you do about it?
Right. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Good points. All right. Let's move to the news.
The news.
Win a Magic the Gathering trackable and discover Orzhaka or something that I can't pronounce that. Anyways, Magic the Gathering has teamed up with Geocaching Headquarters to give thousands of trackables to geocachers and fans around the world in celebration of the release of their latest card set, Rivals of Ixalan. Be the first to discover the golden city of Orzhaka. And I'm butchering that, I know.
There are elves everywhere going, oh.
You kids playing Magic the Gathering, don't come after me with your graphic novels beating me.
It's not graphic novels, it's podcasts and online streaming of tournaments. Trust me, I have a son who's a real geek.
There's
shameful.
So a lot of the games are played in the here in the States, played in the back of graphic novel stores. So that's why I was saying that. Yeah. So with your trackable geocaching journey, learn more about Magic the Gathering on the blog and enter a chance to win a free trackable at geocaching.com/magic.
Yeah, now I believe they actually came out with the first set of trackables about several months ago, where we were snubbed. Right. I don't want to be petty with people because they can do what they want with their trackables. But I believe the last time we did not actually receive a bunch of them to give away.
Podcast?
Yeah,
we didn't get any.
No, we did not, and I'm not bitter about that. Again,
dude, I bring the show down, dude. It's me. I'll take full responsibility.
With Magic, is it's not the size of your deck; it's what you do with it.
Oh my!
Whether it's legacy or.
And this is why we don't get the cards, guys.
It could have been worse.
Sonny and Sandy get our share as well as their shares.
Yes. They just take it right over and drop it on their pile because of that. I'm just saying.
There's one Magic card called something or other, the Fervent, and if you Google it, it's somewhat unfortunate lettering.
I'll have to get back into you because we are a family-based show, regardless of Scott.
What? No one told me this.
It was never in the writing after 4 years.
I didn't sign any contract with a family-owned show.
No. All right, so let's move on into the actual show since we've been kind of just
show's over. It's like 9.
It's like say, have a good one, folks. Bye. Let's see, episode 518, geocaching holiday wishes. Yes, it's that time of year again, and since Scott's got one more week, because I think it's next week. Scott, you said you were going to be able to talk about Geocaching Day.
Was it? Yes.
Okay, so next week we're going to talk about that. But this week, we're talking about holiday gift giving of whatever holiday of which you partake. And I thought we would ask each of the hosts to come up with some ideas as to what you would want to give as a Secret Santa to others, and give some ideas, because out there are a bunch of spouses and well, quite frankly, geocachers themselves who were saying, wow, that would be a really good gift for me. I'll just have to nudge the spouse to let them know that this is what I want. So you do nice things like clippings and stuff and put them in their, cereal bowls and things like that. So they find them and get you your nice gift of what you would like. So I thought we'd go over tonight and just go over some of the stuff that we have. And we'll have the links in our show notes on geocachingpodcast.com with all the stuff that we're talking about tonight. The one that caught my eye, and it's been a while since I've looked at an actual handheld GPX unit. There's several out there that are a little more expensive. We try to keep around under $200 with this one, just to keep it until we talk about the stuff that we actually want. But the one that caught my eye is the Garmin eTrex 20X, which goes for about $145. You can get it off of Amazon.com. There is a bunch of stuff with it. It's just, I'm bringing up the link now with it, with the drone that I really want. But it's upgraded display, great for watching in sunlight, readable, which they've been fighting for that for years. Load more maps, large 3.7 gig of internal memory and micro SD card to do all that fun. Tons of Topo 24K, Hunt View, Blue Chart, just a ton of different maps that you can go through. They've got Navigation NT and Bird's Eye satellite imagery. You do have to get a subscription for that one. Preloaded base map, including a worldwide base map with shaded relief. And keep your fix with the high-end sensitivity WAS-enabled GPS receiver, hotfix satellite prediction, and GLONASS support. Thank you, Russia. For eTrex locations, your position quickly and precisely and maintains its location even in heavy coverage and deep canyons, which sounds like a challenge to me to see how good that is.
Yeah, I think the best thing that they brought into the eTrex is that screen. So when they brought that to the Oregon series, that was great. So and I'm glad to see it kind of percolating down into the eTrex series.
It only took 10 years.
Not quite that much.
Do you remember how long ago it was? I mean, wasn't it not the
Lake?
Montana?
It was the
Montana.
The Lakeland. So it came out about a week or 2 weeks before the Geo Woodstock in Lakeland, Florida. The Garmin Oregon 600 series. I had that screen.
Yeah, I remember the guy walking around came up to me and said, "Hey, here you go. Tell me what you think."
I bought one. I finally got one like 2 weeks before the show. All right, before the going down there, and I did a pretty thorough review, I thought, of it, and I loved it. So, and the screen was the best thing about it.
Yep, cool stuff.
I'll stick with my smartphone, I think.
Well, how long have we been saying taking out your $1,000 smartphone out in the wild? What could happen?
What could happen? Yeah. Come on,
Mr. Scott. How about you? What do you have for one of your items?
I have I have two items here on my list, and both of them my own. So I looked at what I had and what I would recommend. And to start with, I had the North Face Recon backpack. Goes for $99 out the door. It's a fantastic backpack. It is. I've had it for over a year now. I've had a couple different backpacks, and this one the way the way it fits, and B, like the way it displays the weight is just phenomenal. I mean, I can just have tons of water in this thing and all the stuff that I carry, and it's like I'm carrying nothing. It's fantastic. It displays weight fantastically. So if anybody needs a new backpack, and you have $100 to blow on a backpack, let's be ridiculous. Let's be serious here. But it is great. It's phenomenal. It really is. I mean,
you can hold your 15-inch laptop too.
Yes, I mean, I did a ton of research on this because obviously, I mean, my last backpack I had for 8 years. So I beat them up, but I get some worth out of them.
Yeah,
$100 over 8 years is fine. I have no problem spending that.
Is that a typo that it actually says 31 liter?
Where and what? What do you do?
The details. It says stay organized while navigating from point A to B with a 31-liter Recon day pack. That must be the whole.
Right.
That must be the volume of the entire pack.
30 liters.
It does say 2 water bottle pockets made to stretch mesh over the.
It's got 2 water bottle pockets on the side. Okay. It's got a mesh one in the front. It's got a ton of storage in there. If you take a look on the inside, it's got a ton of storage on there.
30 is a large sort of, I'd call commuter pack, small, medium-ish day pack. Full multi-day tramping packs about 60, 70 liters.
Yeah, well, they just have a term for everything, don't they?
It's called volume.
They don't do the small, medium, large like we do with us American pigs.
It's to not confuse the people by saying it's 1,892 cubic inches.
Right. Yes.
Which, of course, we can convert instantly in our brains.
So I've been using this backpack for about a year now, a little over a year and a half, and it's great. I love it. It's great. I wish I gotten it sooner. Yeah. I can go out all day with that thing, and it's nothing on my back. It doesn't even feel like I'm
good backpack that's set up right and fits you. A good backpack that's set up right for you is gold.
Yeah,
it makes things a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
So I'd recommend anybody if you want to try one on. I think you can go to REI. I think they've got them there, and you could. That's what I did. I went to an REI store and I tried out a bunch of different backpacks. And this one, as soon as I put it on and clipped it on, it was like just it like melted on. It's great.
Persuade them to put some weight in it when you're trying them on, because that's really
that's what I did that too. Yeah, I did that too. Yeah.
So good stuff. Yeah, and we'll have the link in our show notes.
Yep, the Recon backpack.
That's awesome. Mr. Taz, what do you have?
I've got a 10-foot Pelican Trailblazer kayak for $199.99, coming in 1 cent under the $200 limit there.
And you have to say this. Where can you get it?
You can get it at Dick's Sporting Goods. So,
yes,
I had to. I'm sorry. I'm 12. Just
every time Jesse and I walk by them, we just like, we got to get those. Why do we not have those yet? Every time we walk by him. Yeah.
So do you actually have one, Chad, or is this one that you want to get?
I want to get a kayak. I've been wanting to get a kayak for a long time. I've always borrowed or rented. I've got my personal flotation device. I even have my own kayak paddle, because the ones that you get when you rent suck.
Yeah.
But I haven't broken down and actually purchased the kayak.
It looks nice.
I've got the PFDs, and I've got a couple of dry bags as well.
Yeah, I've got dry bags, and so everything but the boat.
We've got so many smaller lakes around the Raleigh area that have kayak geocaches everywhere. So I've been dying to do that. It's just a guy my size, I'm gonna become ballast or something like that. Flip, where'd Andy go? And that'll be the end of it. But no, they look great. Very cool.
Yeah, I've done over pretty close to 100 kayak caches in Houston, and there's nowhere near as many kayak caches here, but there's still plenty to do.
Yeah.
So
Houston, don't you have to avoid the gators and the water snakes?
Oh yeah. Well, water snakes aren't really much of a problem. It's the land snakes that are a problem. It's the gators.
Yeah, we got cottonmouths here, and that'll just hunt you down.
See, your wildlife's just trying to kill you.
Oh yeah, it's almost Australia here in North Carolina.
Oh, my other half's in Melbourne for work at the moment, and he says he describes the weather as, when you get into a hot car that's been standing in the sun for a couple of hours. He says it's like that outside.
Oh.
Not fun.
Wow. All right, Sarah, what do you have on your list?
Well, I took a slightly different tack. As the rest of the family are far more outdoorsy than I am, so I've got access to pretty much all the outdoor equipment that I'm likely to need.
Right.
But there's things like good boots, again, but I was trying to think of things that people who could buy you from a distance or don't need to know a lot of techie stuff to pick up. So, and something that we've done for a few years is bought experiences or access things like National Trust passes, that's a UK thing, or I think Royal Oak's your equivalent. Sort of heritage passes to national parks or state parks.
Yeah.
You know, it's a standard chunk of money. You can say Auntie Frida and Uncle Bill got together and bought you this pass for the year, or what my other half's done, my family have done for me off and on for a few years, depending on where we go on holiday, is they bought me a rafting trip or a kayaking trip or something like that.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, we've got enough clutter in the house. We don't really need anything more. But something, sort of something that you can get and do and say that you wouldn't have really justified the money for yourself.
Right.
Which is why I put in the show notes, Tongariro River rafting, which is it's the most awesome fun I've ever had for a DNF. But that is well worth the trip. I'd happily do it again. There's a lot of kayaking companies do around Milford Sound and the other, which is a really good date.
That sounds great.
It's a stunning
They're
location.
raising the prices up from the national parks here in the States, and you're almost paying the same prices you're going to Disneyland. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of prices that they charge now for people to go into a national park.
Yeah. So see, one thing we have is it's free to access any of our wilderness areas. But if you want to do a multi-day walk, there are a lot of things called dock huts or Department of Conservation huts. And you buy hut tickets, which cost from about $5 upwards. And you'll need 2 or 3 or a multiple of them to stay at certain levels of standard of hut. Or for a bit over $100, you can buy an annual pass that gives you unlimited access to most of them. So that's an idea. Or if you know you're going to go to such and such mega or some sort of big geo event, how about saying, could they buy you the registration pack for it? Here's the link. Or could they spot you? I'm going to be there this week. Would you could you book me into a hotel or somewhere that's slightly better than sleeping in a ditch beside the road? Well, you know what I mean? There's things like that are discrete, obvious things that you can give people the exact details for.
I think that's great ideas.
They can do for you. And it's easy. And
it's
a little bit better than just here's an Amazon gift voucher.
Very
I wouldn't turn that down either.
Very nice. Great ideas. And again, we'll have show notes to some of the stuff that Sarah was talking about in our show notes as well.
I was going to say, or you guys might say, that bloody woman needs a halfway decent headset and a microphone and a laptop that's her own.
We'll talk to Santa and see what's going on with that one.
Sarah, your number one should be a microphone.
I'd have to steal it out of my other half's music kit and get that rigged up at home, but I've not quite managed that yet.
All right, let's see. The other one that I've got, I already had an inexpensive canvas backpack that I'm going to leave at it for $32.99. The one that I want has absolutely nothing to do with geocaching unless you want it to, especially if you're a vlogger or, go out and video your own ways of geocaching. This caught my eye. It's only $119, but it's called the Holy Stone F181W Wi-Fi FPV drone with 720 wide angle HD camera, live video, and it's a quadcopter, and you can run this puppy. It's made basically as an easy flyer for beginner, compatible with VR headset, which I think would absolutely rock.
Oh God, what a VR headset!
It's like I'm gonna throw
up. Don't let that out in the field. You'll be falling over every tree root and blade of grass.
God, this thing's awesome.
Yarheads.
And you can run it through your phone as opposed to they actually have a controller that you can work with it to do it that way, or you can run it through your phone.
When you run out of Wi-Fi range on that, that thing will drop like a stone. I've got a Wi-Fi based drone, and I will only run it on the controller because if you do it on Wi-Fi and it gets out of the Wi-Fi range, it'll drop.
Well, what's the range on that?
I was going to say, what do you normally get out of that?
You are lucky to get with clear skies. You're lucky to get 200 feet with the Wi-Fi. Now you can get probably close to 700, 800 feet with the radio controller that comes with it.
I want the drone one that follows you. The one
well, see, that's not the one for $119. That's the one that's $1,000. Yeah, because I want the one for $1,000 that literally it does. It follows you as you go through. It's got
you walk and it's
anti-collision in it. It's got all that fun stuff. Well, you can fly it like a speeder through the woods like Star Wars.
No, this is what happens. Didn't we watch Terminator? This is how it starts.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's all part of the fun.
Drones are fun, though.
Drones are fun. Yes. No, then you don't want to read about the lady who's got citizenship now that's a robot in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, good Lord. Really? This is Skynet, right?
Have a baby.
This is what happens.
I could get very cynical and say they get... No, I'm not going to get.
I was going to say, but robots and drones are there, and the first things that are coming out of these things' mouth is like humans deserve to be in zoos.
Right,
I'm thinking that's just not the thing that you want to produce on a mass scale.
Yeah, Schwarzenegger, remember? Yeah.
Little T-1000.
Humans need to be in zoos, really?
Yeah. Just a suggestion.
But the funny part, you know what the biggest thing is these days
what?
in like China? Sex robots.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Doing away with prostitutes. Men only want to have sex with the robots. They didn't want to have sex with women anymore.
Do we really have to go there?
Sorry, I'm like, this is where it's going. This is where it's going, dude.
Right down to hell in a handbasket. I'm just saying.
Okay, speaking of sex robots, my next one is a Brazos Freeform Hickory Walking Stick for $30.
There you go.
I've got one of these things. Things are awesome. I love it. If anybody has a walking stick, this one's a fantastic one.
Please don't tell us how this relates to a sex robot.
It's fantastic.
It's wonderful, and it comes in pieces.
No, it's not coming.
I have one.
You could get one in pieces, but no, this one is a. I thought about getting one when I wanted one that broke apart, but people were saying like when they were trying to go up a hill, sometimes it cracked. So. I want the straight.
I've got one that's in 3 pieces.
Poles are useful, very useful.
Yeah, so I love my walking stick. It's great. So
that looks like the one I won at an event. I wonder if it's Brazos.
It could be.
It's a great walking stick.
Yeah. And it comes in multiple lengths. So
yes, it does.
You can pick what size fits you.
Fantastic stick. So anybody who if you go out into the woods a lot, thank you. If you go out in the woods a lot, and you need a big stick, this is the. Get, man. It's a great one. Again, I own one. Both of these two things I own. So
and for $30, I mean, come on.
Dude, you can't go wrong for $30.
I was gonna say, if you only had say $15 and we're doing sort of a geocaching secret Santa, what would you buy somebody for $15?
I would go out and find a stick and drill a hole in it.
Brilliant. No, I would actually get them containers.
Well, that's a perfect segue for mine. It's a neoprene water sling / carrier for $12. So for those intermediate hikes where you don't need quite a camel pack to stick on your back there, but you don't want to be carrying around holding your bottle of water the whole way. $12, and you got a little neoprene sling that you put your water bottle in there, and it stays at your side the whole time.
Oh, so you put your water bottle into the sling.
Yes, you put your water bottle into the sling, so you don't have to have a backpack or something bigger than usual. It's just a sling
to hold it. So you take your water bottles, you put them in the freezer.
Yeah, do you own one?
I technically do, but it hasn't arrived yet.
See, that's why we do these shows, because it's like, oh, I could use that.
Yeah. Well, I think if I was spending under $15 as a random present for a cacher, I'd go one of our local stationery suppliers. I go out and you can get notebooks made with waterproof paper.
Oh, you could get them made?
Well, they're already, you can buy them. They're about $15 a go.
Yeah, right in the rain, dude. Come on.
Yeah. No, not the official paper, and just give them a notebook, and they've got instant cash replacement logs from it, and it just sits in a pack.
That's neat. That's a great idea.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So we got a couple minutes left. Anything that you guys want from your holiday area? And Chad's got something. It always makes me scary when he brings something out.
Does the Brazos have a sharp pointy end underneath the
that looks like an offensive weapon.
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
And then this may be the Brazos. I'm not sure.
Could be. Yeah, very well could be. Yeah.
Is it trackable?
Mine's trackable.
Mine's trackable.
Mine will be trackable when I add the tracker.
Yeah, start using it, dude. It's awesome. Once I started walking with one, it's like it annoys me when I don't have it with me if I'm in the woods.
Yep.
And it's great for like poking at things too. When
Oh yeah, poking with a stick, baby.
Things, you don't want to lift, and it's great.
Oh, yeah.
Normally, I bring one of my collapsibles that's I keep in my vehicle.
Yeah, I still use hiking poles for a lot of my stuff. So
yeah. So Andy, so you said it's funny because Andy went I don't want to see what it was, but Andy. You went expensive. I went something as simple as just you said, what do you want? A subscription to Groundspeak, dude. I would be so happy if someone's like, hey, dude, here you go, man. Here's your year paid. I'd be like, oh, dude, that's awesome.
That'll be awesome. Hey, you never know, Santa.
I'm simple, man. I'm a simple man. Simple man.
Santa might be able to do something. I'm just saying.
Man, I'm simple,
we'll see what happens. Things have been looking up around the GeoSnippet studio, so you never know.
GeoSnippet studio. Well, if that's the case, I'd like a.
We're not that good, dude. I'm saying. Pat on the back and a kick in the butt. I'm just saying.
Well, Ben Hill.
But yeah, there is the one that I want, and it's a little bit on. Again, it's another handheld. It's the GPS Map 64 ST Topo US 100K with high sensitivity GPS and GLONASS receiver. This one's a little more pricey at about $250 for that, but it looks nice. I mean, it's one of those ones where you look at it and you know the ones that are going to fall apart on you and the other ones that are going to last. This one looks mean. This one's like, steel gray and the whole shot. It just looks good.
Just looks cool.
Yeah, really good. And again, they talk about 8 gigabytes for memory. You remember the old days when you had a 256K SD card?
Look,
Jesus.
I'm old enough to remember computers coming out in the 80s and having actually had a ZX81 with a whole 1K of memory.
Yeah.
And that was all you needed.
And I bought the expansion pack that gave me another 16K of memory.
Come on, I had an 8088 that had that ran at 6 megahertz and had a turbo button.
We're going down a rabbit hole again.
That would get you 10 megahertz. I'm just saying. So yeah, memories.
Gotta stop this.
This is the puppy that I want Santa to come by and give me. Is this
and drop into your stocking?
Drop it into my stocking, and I'll be a good boy. I promise. So yeah, GPS Map 64 ST, and we'll have the link for it in the show notes. Anybody got anything else that they want?
Yeah, so I have the DeLorme InReach SE satellite tracker. Yes, it's slightly breaking the budget at $229. Actually, I would rather have the Garmin InReach one, but that's about $450.
The alarm is cheaper, right?
Because Garmin bought them.
Yeah.
They're going no, they were going. They were going away.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not as fully featured as the Garmin InReach version, but it's still, what I would want it for is not the go find my geocache, but when I fall off a cliff, I want to be able to send I want to be able to communicate up to a satellite because my cell phone's not going to be working, right. and let them know where the heck I am.
When he falls off this cliff, he's going to be breathing. That's the best part.
Because he's going to land.
If I'm not breathing,
he's survived.
If I'm not breathing, I don't care.
Going back to that, if somebody's looking at the expensive end of the thing, if you're going out in the outdoors and you haven't got a personal locator beacon, seriously consider buying one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is basically what this is. It's a personal locator beacon where you can send your GPS coordinates via satellite to emergency services. It does cost a fees to do it, but you can do it on a monthly basis.
Right.
It does cost you a little bit extra every time you reactivate it, but it's still worth it if you're going to be doing something that is relatively dangerous, and especially if you do not have other people with you.
Yeah, and let's face it, if you're going out for multi-day hikes and things like that, you really need that because you never know when a boulder is going to fall on your arm or something. And I'm just saying,
and you need to use a pocket knife to cut that arm off.
Just saying, I would rather push a button and wait. So
yes,
yeah,
a personal beacon.
Good stuff. Anybody got anything else that they want for their own personal gift? Sarah, seriously, what Kiwi thing would you like?
Time to go geocaching.
Time. That's funny. I've been doing holiday lists since about 2008, and always in the top 3 of all the gifts of whatever somebody wants for a holiday wish list, time to go geocaching is there.
Yeah.
Always. Top 3. Yeah.
My kids are getting older. It's getting difficult. It's like between baseball and all that. It's great.
Yep.
It gets hard. Yeah.
All right. Good stuff. Well, I want to thank Chad and Sarah and Scott for all the things that they do. And make sure, guys, that you check your stockings, even Scott, which is totally a different thing for what he puts in his stocking. It's
great.
It's just...
Dude, I'm a Jew, and I think my house is done more than any of your houses.
I got my tree up.
Did you see my... Did anybody look at my Instagram and see my house?
I did not see your Instagram yet.
Oh, shame.
I feel terrible.
My house, even the inside, my house looks like a Hallmark card right now. This room is like barely done, but up there it's like I got lights and wreaths and
I got 9 cases of stuff to put up this week.
I could send you that Kiwiana stuff. There's a Santa on a surfboard, Santa lying on the beach drinking a cocktail, those sort of things.
Yeah, she's got summer Santa. She doesn't have winter Santa. Like her Santa's in a Speedo or a thong, if you will.
Wow.
And he's thin and has a 6-pack.
Yes, and a banana hammock, but that's a whole different thing. Oh, man. To each his own, Santa. To each his own. All right. I want to thank these great guys for all the stuff that they do. I want to thank you fine folks for stopping on by with us. Again, we don't know why, but we do appreciate it that you stop on by to the Geocaching Podcast. All right. Good stuff. Excellent. And we will see you fine folks next week. Have a good one. Have a safe one. And we'll see you then. Bye-bye, folks.
Bye.
Please be sure to join us each and every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time for another episode of the Geocaching Podcast right here on the Geocaching Podcast website at www.geocachingpodcast.com/live. The video version of our show is available on YouTube, and the audio version is available on our home website, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and many of your favorite podcatchers. We love hearing from our viewers and listeners, so please visit us through our social media types or contact us via our voicemail line at 630-31-VOICE. The Geocaching Podcast is a Headhardhat production, and it's produced by Andy Smith, Scott Burks, Chad Courtney, and Sarah T.S. This show is copyright 2017 by Andrew T. Smith. All rights reserved. And clear. My wife is so thrilled because with all the Christmas stuff, that means Christmas is going to be coming around.
Christmas.
Christmas will be coming, and I think I hit it well enough that she didn't find it and make it disappear again for another year. So we'll have to see, but the holidays are here, and Christmas will be with us.
Yeah, we just brought out, Shane, my 7-year-old, asked us if Arcus. Arcus is the name of our elf on a shelf guy. He's
yeah.
Is Arcus coming this year? And we're like, no, Shane, we moved. I don't know if he has our new address. We don't know. And because we hadn't talked to the boys yet, and like, do you want to do it? And the boys are like, yeah, do it. So So Shane was over last night, and we found Arcus, out in the Christmas stuff, and we put him in his room.
Oh, that's
and
so cool.
Shane didn't notice him for like an hour and a half. He was in his room. He didn't notice him. Also, running out of his room. Arcus is here. Arcus is here. Arcus is here.
It's amazing how those little things that get you. My grandmother Smith, when I was itty bitty, I used to remember before Elf on the Shelf was cool. There were these gnome-like elves that she had all over the place, and they'd be hanging from wreaths in the tree and all of the stuff. And it wasn't until I went to Frankenbooth, Michigan, that I actually found them again, because it's been decades since I've seen them. And man, I was like a 12-year-old kid in a candy shop. I was so happy. I bought like a dozen of them, and it just brought back all the memories. It really did.
Yeah,
it's neat.
Yeah, what's funny part is Shane knows there's no Santa Claus.
Yeah,
he knows there's no Santa Claus.
You still got the Christmas spirit. You still got the ways to go with stuff. It's like you gotta have some fun.
He knows Santa Claus is fake.
Yeah,
don't get it, man. Don't get it. Yeah,
I did something really evil to one of my kids last year. There was a horrible sort of meme thing that went round, the sort of Japanese thing. I have a pen. I have an apple. Pineapple pen. If you haven't heard it, you're lucky.
Okay.
But they kept playing it at school, and Alan really, really, really hated it. So we did always do a little small Christmas stocking at the end of the beds for the kids. And we opened it. He got this Christmas board. The first thing he opened was a gift wrap pen.
Oh,
then he opened the gift wrap apple. And then he opened some pineapple flavored sweets. And it was one. And then he shouted, Simon, I am going to kill you.
Wow. I don't think that's in the same holiday spirit of which the intent. Maybe it is.
Oh, of course not.
Wow. No, that's I magical stuff, happy stuff. Me and the guy in red, we're like this. I mean, it was funny because they've got a big okay, Scott, I don't know my Jewish paraphernalia. The candles. Menorah?
Menorah, yeah, but
Menorah.
Okay. They've got one of those at the front desk where I work now. And when I was leaving
your front desk, no shit, really?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And when I went
must be a Jew owner.
Huh?
Must be a Jew owner.
I'm thinking when I went out to the front door into the main lobby where the elevators are just outside, the main secretaries were putting up a Christmas tree. And of course, the first things out of their word is, well, how do you feel about Santa? Come on, how many times have because we did a ho 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 joke.
Oh, they want you to play Santa?
They want me to play Santa. And it's like, this isn't my first rodeo, folks, when it came to
I have no doubt you've played Santa many years.
I was 15 I played Santa.
I got the glasses.
Yeah.
No offense, you're a waste of a jolly man if you're not Santa, okay?
Yes, exactly.
Well, but isn't it the 3 stages in a man's life? You believe in Santa. You don't believe in Santa. You are Santa.
Yes. For me, like I said, 15 started and went from there.
Santa. So are you going to be Santa?
If the suit fits, what are you going to do? They got a lot
that's job security right there. Who's going to be Santa? Andy's got to be Santa. We can't let Andy go.
Worst thing, I will be on the corner street somewhere ringing a bell. And I'll do Salvation Army, and I'll spell salvation wrong, and just so that I don't have to worry about copyright.
Make a fortune, absolutely. All right, I'm gonna go. I'll see everybody next week.
All right, guys, have a good one.
All right.
All right.
See
Bye-bye.
Bye.